Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is pretty definitive proof here that Ilhan Omar has married her brother. Yeah, that is absolutely wild behavior. I don't know what else to tell everybody, but it ain't looking too great for her. So, without further ado, let's get straight to the end of this entire debacle. The Democratic Party is going to have a huge issue because if this turns out to be 100% true, we may have a Democratic congressman deported. I can't wait. So we have this here from the Washington Free Beacon saying, yes, Ilhan Omar married her brother, and here's her certificate. It says the marriage license application, state of Minnesota. Says name here is Ahmed Nar Saeed. I think that's how you pronounce the name. And what have you. City of Columbia Heights, I may believe county. And then the name is Ilan Abdul Alani. I think that's how you pronounce it. So, yeah, it ain't looking too great here. Looking pretty bad. Says here, President Donald Trump is an occasional practitioner of an unsparing form of political logic. Have taken an interest in the massive public programs fraud committed by the almost exclusively Somali cast of perpetrators in Minnesota. He has followed up with unfriendly comments on Minnesota 5th District Ilhan Omar. She comes in, does nothing, but bitch always complaining. The president told a crowd in Mount Pocono Pen on Tuesday, we ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Well, we would all be up in arms because that would be absolutely abhorrent. Yeah. So again, this is not really too surprising here. I mean, there's a huge amount of asexual stuff that happens within Muslim communities or Muslim areas in general. So this is not really too much of a surprise here. But again, Omar is Somali fraud exhibit A, and her district was the center of gravity in the massive feeding our future fraud case that I wrote about in the Washington Free Beacon in March. Despite what you may think, Omar has made a valuable contribution to her history. Has she really, though? The only thing that she's done so far is completely blast our Constitution and our country and how much she hates our country. And on top of that, she's trying to make it more Somali and more / Muslim than anything. So I think she's done a net negative to our country, and she is a huge issue for our country if she's allowed to stay.
And so the idea that this is a white nation that needs to be preserved is a fascinatingly disgusting view because this country is one for the many.
Our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. We should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men. Out of our country, I mean, I grew up in a dictatorship. And I don't even remember ever witnessing anything like that. To have a democracy, a beacon of hope for the world to now be turned into one of the worst countries where the military are in our streets without any regard for people's constitutional rights, while our president is spending millions of dollars propping himself up like a failed dictator with a military parade. It is really shocking, and it should be a wake-up call for all Americans to say this is not the country we were born in. This is not the country we believe in. This is not the country.
So I think her being deported would be a better contribution to our country than anything else. She goes to show that there is such a thing as a new kind of political scandal. Mark Twain famously observed, it could probably be shown by facts and figures. There is no distinctly Native American criminal class except Congress. And he hadn't even met Omar. I'm talking about Omar's marriage to her brother. Ahmed Nursaid, I think it's Saeed Elmi. I could be completely butchering that, but I digress. Trump may have garbled the specifics, but he got the upshot of the story night. Omar's family brought Elmi over from London in 2009 to try to extract him from a gay lifestyle. And that is context in which Congressman tried the knot with him. Because here's the thing here, guys. is that a lot of things, what a lot of the left doesn't want to realize is that a lot of Muslim countries and communities in general are very homophobic. I would say I don't like using that word because it's such a stupid word, but again, it's just seems it's just a fact. So her trying to get him away from that place into some place where he can be gay and exhibit his gay lifestyle, which our country very much is very lenient and supports. Yeah, so that would be a good reason why she would want him out of there. I started writing about Omar for Powerline, the website to which I am an original contributor, in August 2016 when she defeated 22-term incumbent and feminist heroine Phyllis Khan in the Democratic former Labor primary for a seat in the Minnesota state legislature. Now, the only reason why I think that happened was because a lot of Somalis vote for the same people of their own race. So Somalis were a huge thing in 2016. We probably already had a huge Somali community there. So therefore, I'm not surprised why she won, because she's Somali and Somalis voted for her in. I don't think if we had an American and less Somali population there that she would have won. So and asserted that Omar had married her husband, and Ahmed Hirsi, the father of her children, in 2002, but that she had been married to her brother, Ahmed Nur Saeed Elmi, in 2009. Her campaign website advertised Hirsi as her husband and made no mention of Elmi. So we have this here, obviously, and all this stuff that's been going on, what have you. Yeah, that ain't looking too great here. Oof, oof. I checked out the Somali Spot story online through the Minnesota official marriage system, and it says, inputting Omar's name, I found that the two marriages cited in the Somali Spot post checked out as indicated. The site reflected Omar's 2002 marriage to her advertised husband, Ahmed Ading, later Ahmed Hirsi, and her 2009 marriage to Ahmed Nur Saeed Elmi, identified in the Somali Spot as Omar's brother. As it turned out, Omar and Hirsi had only applied for a marriage license in 2002, but never followed through with legal marriage. So this is the whole thing here. We have Ahmed Nir Saeed, what have you, and all this Ilhan Omar Adali Ali, etc., etc. So yeah, this ain't looking too great. Complete names of parties after marriage: Ahmed Nir Saeed Elmi. Middle name is Nir Saeed, and Elmi. Last is Elmi. So first is Ilhan. Abdullah Omar, which is, here. So this is really bad. This is not looking good for her at all. Citing the Somali Spot post online and online marriage information, I contacted Omar's campaign and got a response from criminal defense attorney Jean Brandil. I had seen her in court representing one of the 6 Somali defendants who pleaded guilty in the 2016 IRS terrorism case. The attorney's message was a classic non-response that called me a bigot and said I should direct further of a question to her rather than campaign spokesman I had called. She seemed to think she could scare me off when I directed my further questions to her as she had instructed, and she ignored me. I wrote about this all on Powerline. My post slowly generated a huge controversy that the Minnesota Star Tribune eventually covered. Yeah, because, huge Somali area. So, yeah, this is what's been going on here, and ain't looking too great here. So, again, we have more as this as well with all this situation going on. So, you have Ilhan Omar under investigation for immigration fraud. This is posted on December 11, 2025. So, that ain't looking too great. So again, the Tom Homan, President Donald Trump's bodyguard, said during a Newsmax appearance on Monday that the administration is investigating Representative Ilhan Omar for alleged immigration fraud. I just got advised by a fraud investigator the other day on that. I asked the question, can we review the files? There was an immigration fraud involved, Homan said on Newsmax. The statute of limitation became an issue in the last 4 years when this was first brought up. He continued, pulling the records now, pulling the files, and we're looking at it. But this fraud investigator who I know personally, one of the best fraud investigators in HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, said there's no doubt he'd review the file. So I'm running that down this week as a matter of fact, and we'll see. So, yeah. So it says here, Trump has claimed that Omar allegedly married her brother, a claim that she has repeatedly denied, which this is not looking too great for her at all. I mean, you can't really deny this. I mean, it's pretty black and white here. Omar was born in Somalia in 1982, and her family fled the nation during a civil war when she was 8 years old. They spent 40 years in a refugee camp in Kenya before being granted asylum and arriving in the United States in 1995. She became a naturalized U.S. citizen at the age of 17 in 2000. During a rally on Tuesday, Trump said, Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with her little turban, I love her. She comes in, does nothing but be, etc., etc. So you guys get the drift here. So that's what's been going on. Department of Homeland Security Assistant Tricia McLaughlin told Newsweek, DHS takes any and all marriage fraud allegations very seriously. Our message is clear. Do not engage in marriage fraud or you will face the consequence of American justice, including severe fines, arrest, jail time, and deportation. DHS will remain vigilant in identifying suspicious patterns and will continue to work tirelessly to protect our fellow Americans. Marriage fraud undermines the integrity of America's immigration system. So, yeah, it's not looking too great here. So, at the end of the day, she may actually face real deportation here because it's not looking great for Ilhan Omar. There has been pretty ample proof that she has married her brother, and as soon as this comes to fruition here, she's going bye-bye. She's gone. She's no longer gonna be here. So we can all celebrate this because we don't need a communist slash person that hates our country to go through, right? I think that it is safe to say that she's not a net positive to our country. If you hate our country, you can leave. It's that simple. If you want to be a socialist, you can leave. You can go to the UK. You can go to North Korea if they'll even allow you in. You can go to China if you want to go there. You can even go to Russia, which seems to be pretty socialist and avoided of rights. So you have multiple countries to go to, leftists. So you can just go there and try not to run our country. So be it may, Ilhan Omar looks like she's being extremely cooked, along with her brother, which they most likely both will get deported, and I can't wait to see this. So we'll see what happens here in the coming weeks, and see whether or not she gets deported by the end of the year, if not early next year. So, yeah, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, comment if you will, and I love to see you guys in the next one. Take care.